Hello everyone, today we will talk about blockchain technology and its impact on society. But before we move on to the main points, this is the picture I want to share with you. It shows two customers of a hacking incident in 2014 where many customers like them lost money after hackers breached the major Bitcoin exchange, Mt. Gox, stealing $140 million US. Our objective of this video presentation is to describe the impact of blockchain on the nature of transactions. We will examine how this impact relates to accounting theories and other theories associated with blockchain. We will examine key articles on blockchain and its impact on accounting transactions. Through examining these articles, you will see how this topic relates to the course and the real world. We hope of this presentation that we will demonstrate this important knowledge and links to prevalent accounting theories. Blockchain is a series of digital ledgers in which transactions are made into cryptocurrencies, for example Bitcoin, and these are recorded chronologically and publicly. Blockchain's distributed ledger does the same thing as traditional accounting ledgers, but with transactions stored in blocks. These are the prices of the computer code. The block is then transmitted to every party involved in the transaction. Participants verify, clear and store data in the blocks. And then it is linked to the preceding block, creating a blockchain. The record of transactions are stored in many places at once, updated in all of them at the same time and available to everyone involved in the network. Now we will talk about the first issue on legitimacy theory and how this has been used to understand the technology of blockchain's impact on the environment. The idea of a social contract relates to how the business interacts with society. In relation to blockchain's cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin have a social contract with society to act with society's expectations in mind. The process of maintaining that an organisation is meeting the expectations of society is known as organisation legitimacy. Blockchain cryptocurrencies must consider the rights of the public at large, not just its shareholders. One area which blockchain might be breaking their social contract is the impact of its energy requirements on the environment. The damage comes from the complex system needed to keep blockchain running at its current speed and necessary security. Blockchain relies on encryption to provide its security. In order to prove that a user has permission to write the chain, complex algorithms must be performed. These algorithms require significant power coming at an economic and environmental cost. For example, Bitcoin, the most known and used blockchain cryptocurrency, needed as much energy as was used by 159 countries just to keep its network running at normal capacity. Back in the 1960s, the only area of legitimacy theory considered to be important was in terms of the company's economic performance being the objective of making a profit for its shareholders. Hypothetically, during that period 50 years ago, Bitcoin's current market value today of about $128 billion could be justified. This has now changed and blockchain cryptocurrencies are now required to consider the wider environment and social consequences of their energy consumption. Another area of legitimacy theory is the financial environment. Blockchain is new and emerging technology. It may take some time to be well established in the financial markets and actually be used as a common currency such as the Australian dollar.
Thank you, Logan. And now I'm gonna elaborate the second issue about the security and the third issue about different views from different countries. In April 2010, some confidential files were dug out by an anonymous person who used the blockchain technology to hide their identity when they publish it to war logs. As the information resource is encrypted by blockchain, even the US government could not identify the actual person who transmitted these classified files to WikiLeaks. Based on these facts, we could imagine how safe the blockchain would be when it used to transactions and other information of users. Besides, it enables the ability to share and update transaction information in real time, which ensures the accuracy of the information and simplifies the process by getting rid of intermediaries such as lawyers, brokers, and bankers. All contracts are embedded in digital code and stored in transparent, advanced databases, where they are protected from deletion and tampering. However, some people in the financial industry have pointed out that blockchain has become overhyped because in reality the technology has limitations and is inappropriate for many digital interactions. It is vulnerable to be undermined by malicious intention and human error, such as hacking and mismanagement, even though blockchain does not have flaws in its underlying concepts. Blockchain's anonymous nature makes it at times extremely insecure to see. Moreover, Bitcoin's establishment was largely driven by computer experts with little experience in the business world. For example, in 2014, a major Bitcoin exchange named Mt. Gox suffered from a great loss around 850,000 Bitcoins, which today is worth more than $6.4 billion, because its CEO mainly had a computer programming background and was not familiar with managing business effectively. Furthermore, when we account for Bitcoin, many countries view Bitcoin differently due to different factors such as environment, cultural, and politics. For instance, in Australian economic system, the government allows people to exercise professional judgment, and Bitcoin is allowed to be freely traded. Also, the WASB has put forward guidance for digital currencies such as Bitcoin and how they intended to classify Bitcoin as either inventory or cash equivalent. However, China has a different economic system because the government has strong statutory control for their economy, and the government has banned Bitcoin due to potential security threats. The different standards used in different countries may reflect differences on their financial reports. Especially this has a great impact on multinational enterprises because they operate at the same time in a number of countries. In the case of Bitcoin, parties are likely to have a large number of corporate transactions between the same companies located in different countries.
Okay, now we are going to move on to the third part, the potential solutions. As we mentioned before, there is some disadvantages, but I would like to talk about more details about the encryption. At the end of the 2017, it was estimated that about over half of the trade in cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin is related to the criminal activities. Governments and judges need to set rules and make decisions about punishment, and the solution can be that governments can get involved in the transition by using blockchain technology. For example, the government can control transitions by establishing some Bitcoin exchange market, and because they are guaranteed by the government, people would be more likely to use Bitcoin in the daily transactions. And also, government can use this kind of markets to supervise these transactions, and it makes it more easily for the governments to detect criminal activities. Also, if companies use Bitcoin to do the daily transactions, it is more difficult for the management to manipulate the reported earnings to mislead some stakeholders about the underlying economic performance of the company, or to influence contract outcomes that the report depends on the reporting numbers. Secondly, the government and judges need to publish accounting standards that provide more specific principles or rules about whether cryptocurrencies should be treated as inventory or capital assets. Because the consequences that reflect into the financial reports could be quite different. and different without accounting standards. Also, cryptocurrency can provide a very big loophole for the companies to get rid of the enormous numbers can hide like accessible income in the form of Bitcoin, artificially reducing their tax payable. So in summary, we explain the definitions, characteristics of blockchain technologies, and we also discuss about like three main issues impact and its impacts on the blockchain technology has on the transition in the real world. And lastly, we talk about the potential solution for the issues that are caused by the blockchain technology. So that's the end of the video. Thank you for listening.